Okay, so this is one of the comments I got on my one of the comments I got on the video. So, what makes you so sure that it was created as a fighting art? So, obviously, you should never be totally sure about anything. It's always good to be a little doubtful about everything, but there are a few key things, and let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, guys, so let's look at some postures here. So the first one's up here, and sorry, I get cut off a little bit. So in the first block up there, what we're doing is we're comparing postures from two different things here. So on the right columns, so these ones, and then these ones here, those are from Qi Jiguang's kind of his fist techniques that he liked from the first version of his text. The second version of the text, he removed them from his book later on in his life, but when he first published it, he had them in there. But these are the part of the 30, I think it was 32 that he liked, and these are very similar to these other ones, which are from a style called Taizu Changquan. It's a long fist style, and it is as you can see, very similar. So that first one is called either lazy tying the coat, or you can even just directly translate it as lazy thrust posture. Okay, and then if you want to translate Qi Jiguang's little poem there, lazily thrust, the robes swing free, one shoot step beneath the eaves. If bold foes charge without retreat, let empty gaze and hands move fleet, or something like that. Okay, now let's look at the next one to the right on top there. Okay, that is the most commonly known posture, and we'll get to that one. Jinji Du Li. Okay, Golden Rooster stands on one leg, or Golden Rooster stands alone, or however you want to translate it. And of course, in Qi Jiguang's book, Golden Rooster rises proud and still, leg raised high, arms meet with skill. Twist the back and oxen fall. Heaven hears the warrior's call. Okay, and then we got the next one is a similar posture. So the bottom one now, similar posture, like I was saying, is to one we all know and love, Gao Tan Ma, often translated very incorrectly to high pat on horse. It's probably better translated as the mounted scout, considering that you're on a horse, and you're kind of controlling the horse, and you're scouting. Now, obviously, you see they're very similar looking postures there. So, and it even says that it's passed down from Grandmaster Taizu, the emperor from Song Dynasty. Postures adapt with advancing or retreating change, attack, defend, press, or yield, strong or weak. All connect to the pinnacle of shorthand or like close range boxing. Okay, and then the last one here is I think this one, it translates kind of a weird, like a shoe closing posture or something like that. So let me look at my notes here. Sorry. Removing the shoe posture. That's how I looked at it. I may have done that wrong. So correct me in the comments, please, if I got that wrong. But in Qi Jiguang's book, it's twisting single whip or twisting whip. Okay, and his poem reads, "Twisting single whip, yellow flower steps in close, or yellow flower nears, brush and lift through guarded fears, step and strike with sudden might, Chen Xiang topples, mount high's height." Okay, and now you may say, "Hey, Troy, what's going on with Tai Chi? Tai Chi doesn't do a twisted or a elbow single whip. We do a shunbu or regular single whip." And you would be correct. So let's get into that. So here we are. Here is the regular single whip from Qi Jiguang's book, what we call a shunbu single whip or shunbu danbian. Okay, and his poem reads, translated, roughly translated, "A single whip sweeps across, straight and slanting, chopping and hacking. Two advancing kicks strike head on and injure. I do not fear his brute strength or boldness. With skill and precision, I strike through with divine clarity." Okay, that's just little verse that goes with it. Okay, so we can kind of see with got both arms extended, and it kind of resembles that single whip technique. Very similar. Okay, very similar to what we're used to when we see single whip. Okay, now let's look at some more modern representations of single whip. Now first, let's start off and look at my long fist teacher, Han Jixiang. Okay, this is from his Tantui, spring leg, or however you want to translate it. And this is from the first road. Okay, very first kind of posture you do, and you can see that it's very similar to single whip, and very similar to Qi Jiguang's posture there, and it's kind of got some similar application to it. You can apply it, kind of as a strike. You can apply it as a throw, and it's got a nice range of application to it, and you can kind of see the similarity. It's got that nice extended posture and stuff like that, and it's kind of easy to extrapolate how similar it is. So you can definitely kind of correlate it. Okay, so next up we have Nabil Ranne. I study Chen style Tai Chi under him, and you can see from his posture as well. So he's got the extended arms on both sides. This time, though, instead of both hands and fists, he's got what we kind of see as the common Tai Chi position is one hand is extended in a palm and one hand is extended out the other direction in kind of a whip, kind of a semi-closed fist position. I think there's always some argument as to which hand is the whip. From what I understand and from what I've been taught is that the left hand, the open hand, the palm hand is the whip. It's not the closed hand, this hand. That's not the whip part. Okay, it's the hand that you're striking, hitting with. Okay, and I know people are gonna argue with me about that, but you're really not hitting with that hand. That's the hand's holding. Okay, you're whipping with the other one. But of course, people are gonna, you know, argue about anything. They'll argue about a rock on the internet. So that's neither here nor there. Okay, but so we can see that this is also a very similar posture to General Qi Jiguang's book, which he obviously based that on older postures that he was looking at, so that we can see that that is something that was popular in that area, popular within China, and popular obviously northern China, and that he liked. Of course, now what I'd like to do is then let's see if we can maybe look at some applications. So this is an older video, and the drills that we're doing were based on the applications for Chen style single whip that were actually shown to me by Tim Cartmell. Okay, so we're going to look at one more example of Taiji single whip, and that comes from Sun style. So here is my other Taiji teacher, Tim Cartmell, doing Sun style's single whip. As you can see, it looks a little different, right? And both arms are extended, though. It's still kind of got that similar posture. Both hands, though, are open. So we got both palms open. And instead of looking towards the left palm, he's looking towards the right palm. And he's in a far more kind of a squared off stance than Chen style one is, even the long fist posture is, even in the Qi Jiguang's book. So it's kind of a little bit different, isn't it? Why don't we go ahead and see what the movement looks like and see what the application looks like for it. All right. So as you can see from those examples, that clearly the postures which are older, they've been handed down in certain ways. So these are just a couple examples, and obviously there are far more examples in many of those postures within Qi Jiguang's book and stuff like that are held throughout all of Taijiquan. So a lot of those things are within. Now, like I said, can we be 100% sure that Taijiquan is meant for fighting? Can never be 100% sure about anything. But what we do know is that those postures do have direct applicable techniques to combat. Okay? And it's clear that they've been around for a long time. And they've been used for a long time. Now, there's obviously some disputed history out there, and is it ever going to be undisputed history? Probably not. We're never going to have for sure answers, and that's pretty clear there. What we can now can argue about is maybe did they study some possible Taoist forms at a temple and stuff like that while they were trying to escape during the Ming Qing transition, stuff like that. And Chen Wanting learned some sort of health-based forms and then mixed it with the long fist and the Hong Chen and in whatever he had learned with his family styles and stuff like that at Dongbei, all that type of stuff. And then eventually some of that got lost and whatnot. Obviously you can read all about that. I'm not going to go deep into that stuff. But clearly, based on what you see in the postures, there is direct martial application. And you progressively study it and you train it, you can use it. Okay? Pretty clear to me. So, hope it's clear to you. Obviously, leave your comments, leave your questions, and maybe we'll do more videos. So, thanks, guys. Bye.